Well, we've had an update on the new test and trace system in England. Figures from its first week show that of the 8,000 people testing positive for coronavirus, only two-thirds provided details of who they'd been close to. More than 31,000 close contacts were then identified. Now, the app is designed to prevent a second wave of COVID-19 infections by keeping a log of when two people are in close proximity to each other and for how long. But it's had a lot of teething problems. And some people are concerned about giving too much information away about their whereabouts. So earlier this afternoon, I had a chat with David Horn, and David is a cybersecurity expert from County Durham.
I think that, that this is a very complicated piece of technology, but we have actually seen it already start to be rolled out, and it did actually go live on the Isle of Wight back on the 5th of May.
What are the potential security risks with the app?
That is a great question. And I think that in real terms, they can kind of be categorized broadly into three distinct areas. So you've probably got security concerns around personnel, i.e. the people using it. There are concerns around the security of the infrastructure, and there are concerns around how the data will be used. So there are lots of different kind of silos of concerns, but I guess the one that most people are concerned about are the personal ones, i.e. how are they going to affect me?
Yeah, I was going to say that, you can understand then that people are right to have reservations in that respect. Or do we have to out that aside because of the current circumstances?
Again, that's a great question, and my gut reaction to that is absolutely not. I think, like everything, we have to make informed decisions and balance the risks with the benefits. And I think one of the concerns that people have with the contact tracing app is, will the data be used for purposes other than identifying those at risk?
Well, that was going to be another question. How accurate will the data be?
Well, the data should be very accurate because of the way it's collected and the way the app actually works. So it's obviously going to depend to a large extent on how many people register for the app. So that's a key. But I guess the argument might be that, enabling Bluetooth automatically can deliver loss of privacy and then open you up to commercial profiling and tracking. Yeah. But again, that isn't a new argument. It's been around for years. But I think what has changed now is that we're aware of it. Historically, we weren't. For many of us, we've enabled Bluetooth on our phones for years, because we use headphones, we connect to our vehicles, and we've just kind of accepted that risk because we haven't perhaps known there was a risk.
And what about using the technology then, David, for example? Would it still work in high security buildings or in black spots?
Well, it does rely on Bluetooth, and so it will store the data, your data, and then use Bluetooth when you get to a point that the data can be used. I mean, in some of the high security buildings, then no, because obviously you will be locking your phone away upon arrival. But of course, a lot of these buildings anyway have, the high security ones have their own testing processes in place on admission and exit anyway.
And how effective do you think it might be? I mean, as you said, it's down, I'm guessing, to the amount of people that use it. Do you think it will be tremendously effective in the battle to fight COVID-19?
I think it will be effective in providing us with intelligence of where hotspots are. It will also obviously depend upon how many people register to use the app. And there are other concerns, how many people are using it. So if as an individual I'm only interacting with a relatively small social circle, I may be able to work out who has infected me. So that's a security risk for an individual potentially, but you may also find people using it in a bad way. So people following other people about to create proximity notifications and direct notifications. So there's always going to be people who use it incorrectly to try and skew data. But ultimately, I think it will provide, or has the potential to provide, good pockets of information around hotspots and geographic locations where there is significant risk, and which can then lead to, perhaps localized lockdowns or whatever remediation might be required to try and contain that.
That was David Horn from County Durham, a cyber security expert, talking about the new Track